Supersonic Q, and Mahogany Crafter. You all are the absolute best. I put links to all of them down in the description, so go check them out. They're all wonderful. Say thank you. I don't know. Figure it out. I don't think I'm ever gonna do anything better than that. So instead, let's get stupid. I recorded that intro like a year ago. It's nice to see you. It's been a while. Truth be told, I got nervous about how I'd one-up that last video, so today, we're gonna do not that. About 3.5 years ago, I was sitting around and I noticed my parents were watching a Hallmark movie that looked a little familiar to me. I could have sworn I had seen it before, but my parents insisted that this was a brand new movie. As it turns out, it wasn't the same movie. It was just another movie about a girl boss going to visit her military boyfriend as chaos and drama and love ensues. Those sick bastards at Hallmark had found a super tiny niche for a movie, and done it twice. As soon as I realized this, I ran to my computer and started putting out open calls to my friends, basically begging and pleading them to help me find every single Hallmark movie genre, subgenre, and subgenre that we could find. And one or two of them actually agreed to help me. Over the course of about 5 hours, my friends and I looked through the Hallmark Wikipedia page and made a note of every single movie that we could find over the last 6 years. We then noted all of their story beats, all of the character tropes, and basically anything we could find that might possibly link up to how another story was told. We then cross-referenced them, and if any two movies had anything in common, we would then write down what that commonality was. It was stupid, it had no practical use if I'm being honest, but it was fun, and it led us to having this absolutely horrifying list. Note, this is mostly counting films that premiered on the Hallmark Channel, but it does briefly go into Hallmark movies and mysteries for one category. I won't be going into detail on that channel or any other Hallmark subsidiary channels. Do more exist? I don't know. And quite frankly, I'm too scared to look. It's time to do what I was too scared to do 3 years ago. Today I make history by ranking every single Hallmark movie genre, subgenre, and subgenre. First, some explanation. It's gonna get a little bit complicated, but stick with it, I think it's all gonna make sense soon. This is the grand board. This is where we'll be ranking the two major categories of Hallmark movie, Christmas and non-Christmas. If you're unfamiliar with Hallmark, you might be thinking to yourself, Marvel, pretty weird of you to rank the categories between every single day ever in a year and a single holiday. And you'd be right if this wasn't fucking Hallmark. You see, in the last week of October, they begin their annual Countdown to Christmas event. And until the end of the year, they release about 2 to 7 Christmas movies every week. This Christmas event holds nearly half of Hallmark's original releases every single year. And, Grinch, I got some bad news. Imagine this is a family tree with each of these two being the oldest known relatives in their respective families, and guess what? They horny. What you're looking at here is the inner workings of the Hallmark original movie story pipeline. We looked at about 400 or so movies, and this is the list of every single story we could find. And God, I wish that was all of the information we had, but each of these 16 categories has subcategories. Because, you know, if we're gonna walk into hell, we might as well douse ourselves in gasoline. To make sure this video isn't like 5 hours long, I'm gonna rank the subcategories off video, so that you don't have to hear me explain the differences between news/writing, travel, betrayal, camping, and news/writing, betrayal, small town. Alright, with that out of the way, I think we're ready to hop into the list, so... Actually, wait, one more thing. I feel like it would be a crime to talk about boiling stories down to base concepts without at least mentioning the 36 dramatic situations from Carlo Gozzi. It's a concept that states there's only 36 core elements to any given story that could make up a plotline. It's simple, it's beautiful, and it's not relevant at all today. Fuck you, Carlo Gozzi. Also, hit that subscribe button. I'm like right next to 1,000 subscribers, and this is my first release in like 2 years, and I promise more are coming soon, so it would be much appreciated. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hallmark Ballpark, the rank plank, the tier mirror. I don't know, I'm running out of stuff. It's just a screen. It's just a tier list. You know what these are. Our first main category up is Christmas Shop. In these movies, the main girl boss of the story finds themselves in a situation where, due to low profits, the owners of a local Christmas-themed store believe they either have to sell or transfer ownership of their business to keep things afloat, usually leading to their young, handsome son meeting a businesswoman with a heart of gold who is able to fix the budget and draw enough crowdfunding to keep it afloat. It's fun, but I don't know what they really expected here. They basically operate a Spirit Halloween for Christians, which does not go as hard as it sounds like it would. There's two subcategories here: Christmas decoration and bakery. Bakery's like a little bit better, but I'm gonna be honest, they're kind of few and far between these days, so I'd be doing myself a disservice by giving it extra points. C tier. Next up, we've got the heftiest category in the Christmas tier: Christmas traveling. In these movies, the big city girl boss finds herself temporarily stationed in a small town in the middle of nowhere. But it's not just any small town in the middle of nowhere. No, it's the perfect encapsulation of Christmas spirit. In this town, Kris Kringle rubbed his dirty, stinky little mitts all over everyone's minds, and they all love him for it. The town's love of Christmas always centers around one of three subcategories: a tradition, a massive Christmas tree, or the most common one, the town simply being called Christmas, which is, quite frankly, a terrifying amount of these movies. Within that last one are two sub-subcategories of their own: journalistic betrayal, which is the first of many times we'll be saying betrayal today, and the other is one where the protagonist's car breaks down in Christmas on Christmas, which is so cute and funny, I hate it.
Christmas fact alert. Christmas fact alert.
According to Stacker.com, using information from the US Census Bureau, there are 29 cities in America named after Christmas and or Christmas stories, and I live like half an hour away from one of them, so I guess I'm legally obligated to film someone falling in love there. Christmas traveling is a really fun category, but only like the first 5 times you watch it. But after that, the story is so tedious and repetitive that even the most hardcore hallheads would have a hard time putting one on. I'm feeling a light to decent B on this one. Speaking of something more fun, Santa is real now. Okay? And I love it. I genuinely love it. Hallmark's Christmas category is easily some of the most demented and weird stuff you can find on television these days. Let me hit you with the plotline of one such movie. 2011's hit classic, The Case for Christmas, starring a pre-Trump era Dean Cain and Rachel Blanchard. Santa is in trouble, people are losing faith in him, and he's being sued for ruining Christmas. What? Just imagine being called in for jury duty, and as you're sitting in your seat, you look up and for one precious moment you're like, Is that him? Just to find out that, yeah, it was, and we're coming for every dollar he has. The two subcategories here are the very vague magic of the season movies, where it's not like explicitly stated that magic is real, but that you kind of get that vibe. And the other one is where Santa and elves are real and not one person is freaked out about it one bit. It's S tier, no question. If you have an issue with it, take it up with the council. Hey you. You're a person. You sleep, right? How about a whole category built around where you sleep? Yeah, you'd like that. You little freak. In what is maybe the most mundane sounding category in this entire video, the Christmas Inn category has pretty much one core story. The protagonist goes back to their hometown where their parents and or grandparents own a struggling inn. The love interest of the story is usually coming to visit the city on a business trip, but he's from out of state, and he needs to get a healthy spoonful of that little city charm. The protagonist and the love interest quickly form a bond while touring around the city, and then, somehow, whether through luck or intention, they become the owners of the inn. That is literally the entire genre of Christmas Inn. There are a fat 0 subcategories for this one, and yet somehow they are still incredibly popular. A shocking amount of the movies produced every single year are this exact category, and it's just so boring. D tier. Big D tier. The D stands for die, which I hope this category does. Last up for Christmas is the Christmas Royal category. I don't have much to say about this one, other than the fact that it is so good. There's two subcategories here, Royal and Rural, and Rural and Royal. In Royal and Rural, some guy in a prince costume rolls around Little Guy, Nebraska, which is fine. And then there's the Rural and Royal category, which is basically about Meghan Markle if she wasn't a famous actress that also starred in her own Hallmark movie, which is another story entirely. And let me tell you, these are the Christmas movies to catch. There aren't a ton of these made every year, and I'm assuming it's because the filming budget required to make a movie about people living in a castle is a little more costly than filming in a small townhouse in Little Guy, Nebraska, but as such, these movies are given the best scripts. I can't remember the name of it, but there was one that was so well written, acted, and directed that it wasn't just a good Hallmark movie, but a good movie, period. And I hate to say it, but that's kind of rare for this channel. A tier. Alright, that's Christmas all wrapped up, and you might be saying to yourself, hey Cameron, didn't you say that Christmas movies made up half of Hallmark's releases annually? There shouldn't be more categories than that. You're telling me. Tell that to Hallmark. I'm just as angry as you are. Hallmark is basically constantly playing in my house, and that means when it's Christmas time, there is nothing different. Ever. There's only like 5 separate stories I could be seeing at any given point, and it sucks. That being said, I think we're all warmed up and ready to face the rest of this list. Jesus Christ. Okay, this is fine, we'll just have to hurry it up a little bit. I'm gonna try and make this quick. I'm giving each of these like 1 sentence max, okay? So, get ready for that. These movies have no real reason to exist. Who are we kidding? This is Hallmark Network, and fuck this sad movie bullcrap. I hate it here. F tier. These ones are pretty good, but also very out of place. Eventually, they spun these out into Hallmark movies and mysteries, and hey, that channel is pretty good, but I'm glad I don't have to include those here. B tier. Who's a good little subgenre? Who's a good little boy? Who's a... Oop, I'm deeply in love now. Good movies. C tier. I gotta be honest, I've never seen one of these that I like. There's only so much bonding people can do over flowers if they're not botanists. It's not realistic even by Hallmark standards. Sorry, Sweaty. F tier. What is even the point of this? Why make something derivative of your Christmas movies in non-Christmas season? It's already half of your schedule every single year. There isn't one thing in these movies that is better than their Christmas counterparts. Why do they exist? D tier. Alright, these ones are actually great, but I would say they're like the most cookie-cutter of the non-Christmas movies. If you like these, I don't blame you. But there's better. It's still A tier though. No, don't use your kids as something to bond over. When they grow up and leave, the relationship you base solely on their existence is going to crumble and fall apart. F tier. I like it as category. I love food stories. I love chef stories, but still I haven't seen Chef, so, you know, it's pretty good. B tier. These are so good. These are like the win calls the hearts of the channel. Anytime these are made, Hallmark knocks it out of the ballpark, as they stand out in the sea of constant rehashes that Hallmark does as a nice little treat for us to nibble on between small-town journalists tonguing each other down. A tier. Now, I've still got the big ones to rank, and this is actually not on the script at all. This is all in my head. I wanted to do this part live because, in all honesty, I don't think I can get all my thoughts down just on paper. I think it needs to come from my soul. While I would love to boil this down to some, like, scientific answer for which one has the better, more juicy plots, or what is the most fun story that you can tell on Hallmark, I really gotta boil it down to what feels like Hallmark to me. And Hallmark to me, and many others, is Christmas. It's the junk food of the holiday season, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Do I wish that they would stop making it start at the end of October and give us some time to enjoy, like, Halloween and Thanksgiving? A little bit, yeah, but I understand that it has to make them a hefty profit. I don't really love any Hallmark movies, but these are the ones that if they're upstairs and they're watching one, I'll come upstairs and watch one too. It makes you feel all warm inside. Oh my god, I did it. I just finished this script I've been working on for 3 years, and I can finally put this story to rest. Thank God, it is like putting a relative you love into the grave.